Dude, we're watching more. We're watching more.
Streamed Highlight is brought to you by our amazing supporters who make it possible for me to do what it is I love to do. Be here with you.
Okay, I've been seeing this channel called the Church of Star Citizen, and the dude's got a blazer, and like we got jazz music. And there's a gentleman in here called Old Arrow Dog who found this dude, who knows this dude. And the algorithm found this dude, and I find this dude entertaining. I don't agree with his take on the last one we watched, but that's okay. Because, you know, the guy's just stating the way he feels. And this is interesting to me, okay? Because this is a topic I see a lot, and I see a lot of this in the general chat where people are like, CIG means China. That's China Imperium Games. And I'm kind of curious as to why people think that. So let's check it out.
First, I'd like to take a moment to thank you for the overwhelming support I got on my first video. I woke up to check my phone and saw 200 subscribers out of nowhere.
All right.
I was like, what the hell happened? Also, I'd like to thank Salty Mike for reacting to my video. I've been your fan for a...
Okay, so Salty Mike reacted to his video. Okay. Uh-huh. To be clear, said Old Arrow Dog, I just know this guy through the comment section. Okay. All right. To be fair. All right. Cool, Old Arrow Dog. We had this suspicion that Old Arrow Dog was actually this dude and he was self-glazing himself, which would also be awesome if that was true. I wouldn't care. This is highly entertaining to me. Totally digging the blazer. We have some type of music in the background again, and the green screen displaying something different. Now let's see why he thinks CIG is China Imperium Games. I'm telling you, this is content for days.
Very long time, and having you react to my video, I'm just lost for words, man.
Okay.
Shout out to you. In this video, I will talk about CIG's expansion into China and how that will affect the game for the worst. But before you go, who the hell is this guy and what does he know about China? Well, I've been in China for almost 20 years now, and this whole set is a JPEG. You're not the only ones who enjoy a good-looking JPEG. I own a small studio in China. We provide services for gaming companies like motion capture, animation, and speculation. So trust me when I say I understand the pattern that foreign gaming companies take when they intend to enter the Chinese market. Today's video is entirely speculative, and before you go, well, it's all speculation, it proves nothing. Why even bother listening to you? Well, when you are...
Dude. I'm telling you, this guy's gonna pop off, man. I'm telling you, I know, man. I just know this. Whether you like this dude or not, I'm just telling you right now, this dude is gonna he's got the fucking jacket, he's got the music right now, and he's just gonna speculate and he's gonna tell you the way that it is. I'm telling you, the jazz man is popping off.
CIG, everything is uncertainty, and uncertainty creates speculation. Everything is speculation until it isn't. Let's cut to the point. CIG claims they're flirting with the Chinese communities purely for community building, and that is exactly what every other game company I worked with said before they set up shop here for good. Let me go ahead and inform you of one thing that isn't speculation. Star Citizen will only be able to enter the Chinese market if they partner up with a Chinese company, and Tencent knows that. Tencent has got their hands in almost everything now, from Ubisoft.
I mean, they better be careful if they settle up with the Chinese and they settle up with Tencent, because CCP owns the majority of Tencent. In fact, the CEO of Tencent is one of the party members in the CCP. I did a whole thing on Tencent. Chinese gaming, China in general makes me fucking nervous, but the gaming sector and their grasp on it, the government's grasp on it, is just out of this world, and it scares me how they overextend, and especially what we saw with the Taiwan people and what they went through. And this was a couple years back, and how connected Blizzard was with China. That really scared the fucking bejesus out of me too. So I don't want them to cater to China. I love Taiwan too. In fact, my friend Erad's from Taiwan. I don't want them just to get a bigger TAM, total addressable market. By the way, TAM means total addressable market. They want to extend the TAM out by like getting into China. I get real nervous, you know, and I know they had a China bar citizen over there, and that looked cool and all, but I hope if they do get involved with China, I hope that there is not a very large investment, because that's going to be very bad. If they are going to partner up with Tencent and then there becomes a very large investment from Tencent into Cloud Imperium Games, and that's how Cloud Imperium gets a very large portion of money, then I'm not going to be happy about that. I'm just telling you right now, I will not be happy about that. But again, that's just, we don't know. We don't know. First off, I think these reports of Cloud Imperium being in some type of financial trouble are way over the top and unsubstantiated. I saw the numbers. They're not horrible through Clearinghouse. And yes, that's on the UK operations of everything. And they're wrapping up, and they're kind of like wrapping up on the US side of things, which is really strange to me. They got rid of LA. And I think they are downsizing a little bit, which is what I expected them to do in 2025. And I thought that we were going to have a contraction in revenue. Remember, I was saying in 2025, I thought there was going to be this retraction in revenue. But from what I saw and what we watched, when Montoya was looking over at the numbers and looking at the revenue, the half of the year isn't even over yet, and they're beating last year's at this rate, they will beat last year's, and it'll be another record-breaking, revenue-breaking year. So, like, you have to ask yourself, if they're cutting down and they're leaning up their offices and they're cutting down their expenses, at the same time the revenue's blowing up in a good way, then that's financially a good thing. So, do they need Chinese money? And would it be smart for them to cuddle up to 10 cent or a large investment from them? No, that would not be a smart thing for them to do. At the same time, they want to expand the market. That's interesting. This is interesting.
Off to Unreal Engine. Well, Star Citizen has absolutely no options when it comes to setting up shop here in China. So when, not if, they start operating in China.
We still have Squadron 42 on the table, right? And like I said in a video this week, was it this week, Aether, about Squadron 42 going to console and how I'm pretty sure they're going to go to console. And if they do, that'll expand the TAM, their total addressable market, by going to console. A lot of people were upset when I said that, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna sell Squadron 42 on consoles. That means an explosion in sales. So that could alleviate this issue. That could alleviate them from having to worry about Chinese money. Yeah.
They will need a partner, but that defeats the whole purpose of not having a publisher and launching their game by themselves. Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just too hot.
Oh, he took off the blazer, man. Now he's tatted up. Oh shit, Jazzman just went tatted up.
Citizen will eventually have to adjust their model to adapt to local norms here, and the only way to do that is to have a different set of rules for China and the West. Currently, in China, buying ships is done mostly in the gray market.
Jazz now.
The game isn't officially operating here, but as soon as the government sets their radar on CIG, Star Citizen will have to be regulated. But you might argue that, who cares, man? I play my game in the US. Whatever the Chinese do over there is their business. Well, let's just say that once Star Citizen is officially available in China, ships will not have the green light to be sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars. So CIG will have to sell their ships here at market acceptable prices. Let's see if he'll still say,
who cares, man? I play my game in the US. Whatever the Chinese do over there is their business.
When ships cost no more than $100 here. Let's go back to the whales for a moment. Right now, CIG still pretends they care about Western whales because it's their only source of revenue. But they already know that there is a new frontier in Jackie Chan land with an unexploited 1.4.
Oh man, did he just say Jackie Chan land? Did he just say that? You guys think I need to check myself. You guys think I'm the crazy guy who doesn't have a filter. Hardcore Jazz Tats came out, dude. Hardcore Jazz Tats came out. Jackie Chan land. Holy shit, this guy.
4 billion new potential whales were hesitant to criticize and whose comments on Spectrum they can delete without fear of pushback. You know, just some of the perks of living in Commie-land. Next, Spectrum. There's absolutely no way Chinese players will have access to Spectrum, as the country doesn't allow for Chinese nationals to have direct access to forums in other countries. So CIG will have to create a China-only Spectrum. Now, I have a message for you, us whales. CIG doesn't like you, it tolerates you. And how do you think their tolerance towards you will change when they finally realize...
I'm just worried about spyware. I'll tell you the one thing I hate. I hate Chinese titles and Chinese games. In fact, we got a playlist dedicated to new titles, and there was a new game called Bustling Wind. And I was like, wow, this game, you guys remember that? We were checking that game out. We always try and check new titles out here. And it was called Bustling Wind, and it looked so fucking cool. And then I learned that the game dev behind it was a Chinese outfit, and I was like, damn it. And the reason I say that is primarily because of all the spyware.
Are you ready? Take a ride on my hover bike. Hover bike.
Thank you. Stunner gifting the old Arrow dog, who might or might not be this dude, Supreme Jazzman. That's who I'm calling. I'm calling this man Supreme Jazzman. I expect this guy to pop off. The one thing that's interesting about this guy, whether you agree or you disagree with him, he is offering me so much content here and a lot of talking points. So, you know, we went from Jazzman, now we're hardcore Tat Jazzman. Betty disagrees. Diva says he is not popping to nothing. Listen. He's giving me a lot of topics to talk about. Let's just say it that way. Here's the thing. I worry about spyware from anything China. Anything China is spyware. They even sent a fucking balloon over here, for God's sake, to spy on us. They have been spying on us for decades. I mean, the balloon thing was over the fucking top. Like, really, China? Really? I mean, it's bad enough that you're in all of our software trying to steal all of our tech and then call it your own. Like, you know, everything was stolen, and they got the manufacturing output of a juggernaut. Like, the manufacturing power of China right now is like ridiculous. And so they just steal the tech and they'll just reproduce it at an astonishingly crazy rate. I don't like Chinese games because of spyware. Frankly, I got League of Legends on my game, or on my PC. I got that game and I had it and I played it for a long time. And then I learned, oh shit, when I learned everything about Tencent, this is years upon years ago. This is a long time ago. And Riot is primarily owned by CCP. And then I tried to take it off my PC and it wouldn't, I had to totally hard boot the motherfucker and start from scratch because the spyware was so embedded into my PC, it would not let go. And that shit is scary. I do not like that. And I know probably Google and Facebook do the same shit. It's bad enough my own country's doing it to me. I don't need another fucking country to do it to me. You know what I'm saying?
They can cater to Chinese whales and don't have to put up with you guys complaining about everything anymore. Just to be blunt with you, China will change your game. I mean, Squadron 42 will have no problem launching here, but an online MMO will have to change its very core if you want some of the Chinese money. Up until now, you might be feeling good about Star Citizen making waves in China. You might be feeling like the game is connecting different peoples and creating a wonderful community. And that, my friend, is the reason you're not a businessman. Businesses don't give a crap about that community nonsense. They only care about money. And CIG's China...
I mean, I don't know. It's not such a good closer when you're trying to sell, or when you're trying to rent out your studio to the people in China to call it Jackie Chan land. I'm just saying, you know, like, if you want, let's be real here. If you're trying to run a business and make a profit, and you're trying to rent out a studio space in China, and you close off to your clients by saying, "Hey, I hope you like my studio in Jackie Chan land," I don't necessarily think you're the greatest business person to take advice from. I'm just saying.
Voyeurism is exactly about that. In the end, Star Citizen might have to even go subscription only in China, and if you always thought that you love for Star Citizen to be subscription only, go back to what I just said. Subscription only in China.
Yeah. Stunner says, in my opinion, though, it all comes down to the same thing. Be aware, but ultimately you either trust CR and SIG or you don't. Yeah, and I can't imagine that they're just going to hand over the keys to the Chinese for a big injection of cash. That doesn't make sense to me, unless they're in some financial troubles, unless they're in some serious financial troubles that I'm not aware of. But according to the numbers I looked at, the ones that are public, everything looks on the up and up. The revenues look good. They're cutting down expenses. They're cutting down offices, and the revenues are increasing, which is what you want out of a company, to be a healthy company. So in my opinion, I wouldn't say that they're in any financial trouble at the moment. However, there is a probability that maybe they may, and they're looking at China for an injection of cash. Who knows? Maybe they need the capital. If that's the case, I just can't imagine that Chris isn't aware of the risks. I think there's more risks in that than anything else, because then he loses the very thing that is most important to him, which is his ability for it to be a purely Chris Roberts experience. The whole reason why he did the fan funding in the first place. And you'll remember, even when there were the investors, the Calverts, you remember when he got the personal investments from the Calverts, it only amounted to about a 30% take. It was nowhere near the amount of ownership that would be needed to have to worry about an overthrow. Perhaps a deal is being worked out with China where they're going to take a minority stake. And they better be careful if they do that. But it isn't anything that I would worry where the Chinese are just going to basically take over and tell Chris how to run his company. And I can't imagine Chris would be okay with that. Can you guys? Chris Roberts is a control freak down to the pixel. Do you think he's going to give control over to the Chinese? I don't know. Seems like not the best take for me. But hey. Content for days with this dude. Content for days.